By the way, I have to say that somebody from DOGE was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run. By the way, I have
President Trump is threatening a federal takeover of D.C. after police say a former DOGE employee was brutally beaten in the nation's capital.
Truly unbelievable. Lucas Thomason joins us live in Washington. Lucas, these type of attacks have been happening for years now.
They sure have, Lawrence. Good morning.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what's going on, family? I hope everybody that's tuned in right now that you are blessed, well, and healthy, that you're having a great week so far. But oh boy, we got some big things to get into today's show. Some big breaking news. What's going on down there in D.C. right now? Trump threatens to federalize D.C. over DOGE kid beating, and even Judge Jeanine is weighing in, taking names. Oh boy. But President Trump just posted a couple of hours ago. He says crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control. Local youths and gang members, some of only 14, 15, and 16 years old, are randomly attacking, mugging, maybe shooting innocent citizens at the same time, knowing they will be almost immediately released. They are not afraid of law enforcement because they know nothing ever happens to them. But it's going to happen now. The law in D.C. must be changed to prosecute these minors as adults and lock them up for a long time, starting at age 14. Woo! The most recent victim was beaten by local thugs. Washington, D.C. must be safe, clean, beautiful, for all Americans, and importantly, for the world to see. If D.C. doesn't get its act together quickly, we will have no choice but to take federal control of the city and run this city how it should be run, and put criminals on notice that they're not going to get away with it anymore. Perhaps it should have been done a long time ago. Then this incredible young man and so many others would not have had to go through the horrors of violent crime. If this continues, I'm going to exert my powers and federalize this city. Make America great again. Woo! Boy, it is going down, and we're going to show you clips, and hopefully we're allowed to show it. Hopefully we don't have to censor it, but it was pretty bad. And seeing, the blood, it was pretty bad. I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen it all over your timeline For You pages. But even Elon Musk, of course, has weighed in on this. And, he says a few days ago, a gang of young men tried to assault a woman in a car at night in D.C., And there's a lot of things that are not being really, really focused on that we should focus on. And he even says a DOGE team member saw what was happening and ran to defend her and was severely beaten to the point of concussion. But he saved her. It's time to federalize D.C. And that's coming from Elon Musk. Elon Musk worked with he has a big heart for big balls. A lot of people have a heart for big balls. Big balls was his name was Edward Pirro, also known as Big Balls, is a DOGE employee and hero who put his life on the line to help a woman in distress in Washington, D.C. Everyone should thank him because society would be a lot worse if it wasn't for men like him. And this is DOGE Big Balls. And again, the photos, it's pretty graphic. Blood is everywhere. But they're saying Big Balls is a hero. But here's Judge Jeanine weighing in.
Hi everyone, it's Judge Jeanine. In case you don't know or recognize the background, I'm at the White House. I just met with the president. We talked about crime in the nation's capital. We talked about fighting crime, and the president is very serious about making sure that as the prosecutor here, that we not only fight crime with a vengeance, but make sure that there are consequences. Make sure that we protect the victims and we make the criminals accountable. And that's the mission of the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C., not just in district court, but in all the courts, the superior courts. Our job is to get guns off the street, drugs off the street, take care of those individuals who are threatening, carjacking other people, and make this city safe and clean again. And that's just what we're going to do. And if you don't buy into it, you're going to have to deal with us.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. A new sheriff's in town. Oh, it's a bunch of new sheriffs in town. State troopers.
Edward Korstein, the former DOGE lieutenant known as Big Balls, spoke to our own Jesse Waters. Elon Musk reacting to the attack on his platform X, saying, quote, "A few days ago, a gang of about a dozen young men tried to assault a woman in her car at night in D.C. A DOGE team member saw what was happening, ran to defend her, and was severely beaten to the point of concussion. But he saved her. It is time to federalize D.C." Here's a look at those recent attacks this summer. Back in May, a House staffer was the victim of an armed carjacking in the Navy Yard next to Nats Park. In July last month, a congressional intern was murdered in a crossfire from a drive-by shooting. And now, Big Balls left bloodied after this attack. President Trump says he wants gang members over the age of 14 to be prosecuted as adults, guys.
Did the people who allegedly attacked him, did they know that he was a part of DOGE, or was it just because he was trying to help the lady that was being attacked?
The latter, Ainsley. It appears this attack happened about 3 a.m. on Sunday, early morning. It happened on 14th Street, just north of Le Diplomat, other popular restaurants in Washington. It's probably one of the most popular parts of town, Ainsley. It appears to be because Mr. Korstein stepped in to try to save this woman from being carjacked, which he was successful in that endeavor. He was attacked for stepping in. He did also save his girlfriend, who he put in his car before stepping in.
Wow. Y'all be careful in D.C. Griff lives there, too.
Yeah, Lucas, thank you very much. And to Lucas's point, this happened in Logan Circle, very popular area, and Ed Korstein, also known as Big Balls, really stepping in to stop that carjacking. Look, I've lived in D.C. for 35 years.
Big Balls.
And while the data, the crime data is trending down right now overall, we do have a serious problem with juveniles because they're getting out. They know they won't be held responsible. That's why President Trump is sounding off on it. And, you know, this is yet another example of what is wrong about D.C. Pressure now on Mayor Bowser will be to try and prosecute these juveniles who are under 18 to stop committing these crimes.
It's a huge problem. It's not just the carjackings. It's not just the assaults on people. It's not just the armed robberies there. But there's an enforcement problem, and you can't have law enforcement that are activists. They got to be able to do their job. Look, I spent some of my career working in juvenile court. I have immense a passion for the young people and turning their lives around. But one thing I found when I did work there is that there has to be consequence, or they continue to repeat. And we finally got some hope in New York City, Ainsley, but it looks like if they elect the next mayor, things could change.
Yeah, Eric Adams doesn't do everything perfectly, but he was a mayor that came in and he used to be a law enforcement officer. So now he's the current mayor. He's running as an independent, and he's running against Zohran Mamdani, who in the past has said he wants to defund police, but he's attempting to pivot from that.
No common sense.
He was commenting yesterday.
No
We're going to play
common
that
sense.
soundbite in just a minute after we show you these stats, because
No
it
common
looks like
sense. With them hats on. Oh, man, I remember when the state trooper pulled me over, y'all. I thought it was the end for me, man. They made me, because I wasn't trying to run the red light, but it would like turn red. I was in high school too, man. And the officer thought I was trying to run from him. You know, he made me get out the car. He says, walk backwards, put your hands up. I kid you not, true story, man. Pulled me over. I was in my Toyota Tacoma, you know, that my dad had gave me. My first car, my Toyota, my first truck / car. You know, my dad put, I think, 200,000 miles on it. And I put an extra 100,000 miles on it. It had 300,000 miles on it. I love that little truck, man. Yeah, and I was riding. And I somewhat ran the light. I don't think I ran it, but, you know, it was a close call. But the officer let me go with the warning, you know. But he made me get out the car and walk backwards. It felt like that was the end for me. He made me walk backwards. And he says, walk backwards. Put your hands up. Walk backwards. So I guess he thought I was trying to run because I kept driving. Then I finally pulled over. I was young though, man. I didn't know what was going on. It was like I think my second time being pulled over, because the first time I got pulled over was for my loudspeakers and window tint or something like that, close to the mall. But yeah, man, hey man, we've all, again, you guys, just be respectful, be kind, it goes a long way, it goes a long way. A lot of things that have taken place in this country would have never taken place if people respect authority. There's times where there are bad apples, though. There are bad apples, and some cops are, are not doing what they signed up for. They're not protecting and serving the community. Some think they have too much power with that gun and badge. There are bad apples out there, but most of the time, a lot of things will go a completely different way if we just do the right thing. Some of us be driving down the freeway, like I always say, piss drunk, with the bottle in the passenger seat in the cup holder, and the first thing they say is, "Why are you pulling me over? I've done nothing wrong." They don't want to comply, nothing. To kill somebody, but they say they're not in the wrong. Driving piss drunk 100 miles per hour. Yeah, I tell you, man. And it's some people in this country that just, oh boy, I've done nothing wrong, officer. I've done nothing wrong. But the bottle is in the passenger seat. They breathe in the walkie-talkie. Yeah. You just can't make it up, man. But a new sheriff's in town, you guys. It's happening. What do y'all think about this? And again, Big Balls. Big Balls. He's being called a hero right now all over the internet, which he should be, for saving that woman's life. And again, this shouldn't take place, man. But he is an ex-DOGE staffer. I believe he did resign from DOGE, if I'm correct. President Trump says it is going down. Federalize the city and make America great again. I tell you. Oh boy. It says DOGE staffer known as Big Boy came to help a lady in DC getting attacked by 8 teens. The lady was getting attacked by 8 teens. I tell you. Once again, this was President Trump speaking out on it.
By the way, I have to say that somebody from DOGE was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run.
Run it the way it's supposed to be run. I tell you, DJT in the flesh and the blood. What do y'all think, man? But again, please know how to protect and defend yourself. I care for you guys, man. Know how to protect and defend yourself. Be safe. Trust your gut feeling. Be aware of your surroundings. It's getting crazy. Not just in this place, all over. It's getting crazy, man. People have lost their minds. People think they have a point to prove, a point to make. Trump deranged syndrome in this country has already had people cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So please, you can't even have a conversation with somebody in the public anymore. It's crazy. People think that the world is ending. They tune into the fake news media, all this fear mongering, lies, misinformation. It just won't stop. But please know how to protect and defend yourself. Take care of yourself. Trust your gut feeling. Be aware of your surroundings. And hey, let me know what y'all think of this, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, family.